Hello and welcome to the Awakened Spirit YouTube channel. My name is Melanie. I'm a lifelong medium, and today we're going to be learning how to bend a spoon. I have had so many people ask me about this class and ask me, Melanie, is this class like it is in the movie The Matrix? And you're about to find out, but first I want to just show you this clip from The Matrix because it was the inspiration for me to develop this process where you tap into your ability to use visualization techniques in order to shift your physical reality. So let's take a look at the clip and then we'll jump into the class.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon?
Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.
The Oracle will see you now.
If you like this type of content and are interested in my videos, or if you learned something really cool today, it would be awesome if you would like and subscribe and be sure to hit that notification bell. You will be the first to know about new videos as they drop. If you're into spiritual development, spiritual awakening, the esoteric, this is definitely the video and the channel for you. I am a lot more active on my Instagram account. You can follow me at _awaken.spirit on Instagram. I would love to connect with you there. Feel free to DM me, follow me. I post stories just about every day. You can find out about new classes as they drop. And I hope that you enjoy this class today on how to bend a spoon. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Melanie again. I'm a spiritual teacher. I have a background of a lot of different esoteric and spiritual studies, and I am the co-CEO of Awakening Sanctuary Women's Intuitive Training Program, and I also do a mentorship program for those who are highly sensitive called the Empowered Empath Mentorship. I'm passionate about working with neurospicy souls and the LGBTQ community. Mostly just teaching people how to own their sensitivity as their greatest gift. So enough about that before I bore you to death. Today we're going to be learning how to bend a spoon, which is really exciting. And I've been doing this for fun for about 6 years. And I did teach myself how to do it. And I was just curious about it as I kind of delved into my studies. And it's something that just kind of came natural to me. And I was surprised how easy it was. And I'll just kind of show off a little bit here. I've got a few spoons that over the years have bent for me. And what's really fascinating about this practice is that really anybody can do it. So if you haven't already, you're going to need a spoon. But before we get started, we need our number one spiritual tool. It's highly advanced, and it's the one I teach all the time, and it is amusement. So my students will know about this. So before we can do any type of spiritual energy work, before we can get anything to shift, you have to have some level of amusement. So if you know me, if you're one of my students, if you follow me, you probably know that I love a good joke. So I found this meme and I thought that you guys would really love this because it's kind of a meditation spiritual meme. And what amusement does for you when you're doing energy work is it really allows you to create a shift, not taking things so seriously. And if there's something that's not working, if you have just a little bit of lightness or amusement, it will allow you to create that shift with a lot of ease. So I know a lot of people have tried doing things like manifesting or different types of energy work, and they're like, it's not working, I'm not doing it right. Well, it's probably because you're taking yourself just a little bit too seriously. So if you can find even just a little bit of lightness in today's class and a little bit of fun exploration, you're going to have a much better time. Yeah, I made this inspirational poster for you guys because energy work is just not going to work if you're taking it too seriously. If you can, just think about something that no matter what's going on, it's just hilarious for you. It's that something that creates that lightness, that relief, and this will go a lot faster and a lot easier. So does everybody have a spoon? I brought a spoon today just in case. I wish I could just, we're not there yet technologically, but I wish I could just pass it to you if you didn't bring a spoon. But if you don't have a spoon in front of you, go ahead and grab one. I recommend grabbing one that's a little bit thicker or kind of tough. This one that I have, I cannot get it to move. So it's a good one to work with. This one's probably a little bit more flexible, but the point being, pick a spoon that when you pick it up, it doesn't easily flex on you. So like if you can see my hands, they're kind of working to move it and it's not shifting. That is a great spoon to start with. So I'm going to show you what we're doing here. So what we're going to be doing is a method that I developed over my years of kind of practicing this. And I'm going to show you some slides here. We'll probably have a momentary technical difficulty. So let me share screen. Oh, perfect. We're already there. Love it. So today's practice, we're going to use some visualization techniques to create an environment where the solid spoon can move. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some visualization techniques. The first step is going to be to have your amusement, because if you take this too seriously, if you're worried about doing it right or wrong, it's not going to work. So let all of that go. It doesn't matter if it actually bends. Just come in and explore with me, see what happens. So the technique, let's get into it. The first step in this technique is you're going to imagine that you're pulling volcanic energy up from the planet, up your legs, through your body, and kind of to your chest. So visualizing that hot molten energy kind of coming up into your chest. And then we're also going to visualize bringing some hot solar energy down from the sun, pulling that down through your body, through into your chest, where it can mix and run out of your palms of your hands and into your spoon. So here are the steps. Step 1, pull it from the planet. Step 2, pull energy from the sun. And they're going to mix here at the chest. So 50-50 mixture running down your arms and into the spoon. Don't worry, I will be walking you through this process. You don't have to memorize it. And then one of the most important parts is this piece here where we're kind of watching the metal in the spoon heat up. So if you could imagine that as you're running the energy into the spoon, it's getting hotter and hotter, and the color and the temperature of the metal is changing. When we're talking about something like welding or heating up metal, the color change can denote how hot the metal is. So we're really wanting to heat this spoon up with our intention until it's kind of white hot. Before we jump into this practice, I want to open the floor for any questions, comments, or concerns. Yes, Kendra.
Okay, this might be a dense question, but if I'm making the spoon really hot and I'm touching it, am I gonna won't I think that I'll burn myself and I'll be like, and then let it go? Anyway.
I hope that it gets that hot.
Awesome.
It's more the intention and the visualization of it getting white hot, because you're altering the energy of the spoon and telling the spoon that it's white hot.
Okay.
With the visual. Because this practice essentially, not only is it cool, but it shows you how with doing something like a visualization, you can shift your physical reality. So it might get warm. I've never had one get super hot on me like that, but if yours does and it's really hot, please put it down. Do not burn yourself. If anybody's really good at this, please do not burn yourself. I cannot assist in any way if that happens. was a great question, though. Does anybody else have any questions? Please unmute or type in the chat. I know I had a chat here. Let me pull these up. Yeah, the meme was quality. Yes, check spoon. I'm not using my own spoon. Can I bend it back? Hopefully you can bend it back. With this one, I kind of expected it to bend where most spoons bend, which is right here, but it actually decided to bend right where you would think it's the strongest. I guess maybe not because of the shape of the metal. Some of them I've been able to bend back, some of them I have not. This one is a pretty thick one. Attempting to bend it back is not happening at this moment. So if it's not yours and somebody's going to be upset about it, take the spoon home with you. Hide it under your couch. Do something. I don't know. That's my best recommendation. I'm sorry. I will not be accepting charges for people's spoons that have been vandalized. They might be missing a spoon, yes. Wonderful. Any other questions before we jump in? Any takers? No? All right. Well, let's do it then. I'm really excited. Who's excited to bend a spoon? I'm really excited. Okay, so we're going to go into the meditative practice. What I want you to do is go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Close your eyes. And we're just going to start by visualizing a line of energy connecting at your hips, going all the way down to the center of the planet. This could be a visual of a tree trunk, could be just a bright light line of energy. We really want to get grounded before we do any energy work. As that line of energy attaches at your hips and connects down to the center of the planet, take a few deep breaths and just let everything go. And set your body on maximum release and maybe even watch any energy that got activated or excited for class release down that grounding cord. Maybe even making a little splash at the bottom. I see plenty of you using that visual of a toilet. Yes, that works great. Just having that lightness. Be sure to have your spoon in hand as we go into this next part here. What we're going to do is I want you to go ahead and start to look down into the planet and find some energy from a volcano. Some molten hot energy, maybe it's even that white hot color. I want you to start to visualize that energy running up from the planet into your feet. Moving up your legs, through your thighs, up your body, right to the top of your chest there. And breathe. Notice if you're taking it really seriously. We're just playing and exploring, and who cares if the spoon bends? It's crazy. And go ahead and start to find that energy from the sun, that white hot vibration. Pulling that down through the back of your head, down into your chest, letting those two energies mix right at the chest, maybe getting a bit hotter. Watch that energy run down your arms, out the palms of your hands, and really direct that to flow through that spoon. Just watch as it starts to leave your hands and move up the spoon. And maybe even watch where that energy wants to flow. Is there a pattern to it? Does it swirl around at the top? As that energy flows into that spoon, start to watch that metal heat up. Maybe it goes to a red and an orangey color. Getting a little bit hotter, maybe like a middle yellow. And go ahead and pump more of that hot lava and sun energy into there, because we really want to get it to the point where it's white hot. Keep focusing, breathe, nice and light. What happens if I focus on this longer than I've focused on anything for the last God knows how long, other than my phone, until it's white hot? And I want you to ask the question, where is the spoon going to bend? What point is this metal really going to melt? You can maybe even start to see that spoon becoming more malleable, more like a liquid. Maybe it just becomes mercury and totally melts. Just really focus on how hot, how white hot, how malleable that metal is. Take a nice deep breath. You can start to come out of meditation. What I want you to do with your spoon is I want you to take it and set it down to the side and forget about it. Let it go. Let go of all attachment to that spoon doing anything. We're not even learning about spoon bending today. It's just a joke. I'm kidding, but just tell yourself that for a second. Because as soon as we create something or a shift in the world with our intention, the attachment to that shift keeps it from coming in. But if we can let it go and forget about it for just a little while, it'll kind of come in a lot easier. So, does anybody have any questions about what we just did? Did you notice anything interesting? I'm curious, Kendra, did your spoon get super hot? Do you have burns? No burns. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. If you do have questions and you're a little shy, you can always type in the chat. Feel free. Okay.
I actually noticed that like my hands were, I mean, they were already like really tingly before we started, but now they're like really cold.
Isn't that interesting that just focusing on moving energy can create a temperature shift?
Hmm.
What it really looks like for you, Ash, is that you kind of activated those palm chakras.
Okay.
So there's energy starting to move through there that maybe hasn't in a while.
Yeah.
Very cool. Does anybody else have a physical sensation? Kendra's like, yeah.
Yeah, my whole body was like tingling when we did the volcano part. Like I still feel really tingly. Then my hand was definitely warm.
Oh, yeah. I've done this before where my whole body has gotten really hot. So if that's you, be sure to take a moment to visualize maybe like jumping in a cold lake. Just give that to yourself so that you can come back from the heat. When I first started practicing this, it was something I just kind of came up with. And I just remember the spoon bending and being like, could it be that easy? Could it really be that easy? But here's the thing. We're going to take a quick detour to distract you from the spoon into the nature of our reality. You guys are taking this way too seriously. Come on. It's supposed to be fun. So, a little detour into the nature of our reality according to quantum mechanics. And I know some of you have heard me talk about this, but the nature of our reality, when observed, is fixed. So quantum physicists have discovered that the subatomic particles, the itty bitty bits that make up our reality, they become fixed and in place when we're observing them. When we are not observing our physical reality, subatomic particles and matter behave more like a wave. So essentially what that means is that our reality becomes fluid when we're not observing it. The waveform of matter interacts and connects with everything that is in our universe. So essentially, when you're closing your eyes, you are connecting to the fabric of our reality, which is malleable. We just have to take the moment to set our intention, close our eyes, and really focus that in order to shift that physical form. So you can change your physical reality. And when people talk about imagining or playing pretend, isn't it so funny that there's such a stigma around that not being real? It's almost like society doesn't want you to really own your ability to shift your reality. It's not real, it's pretend, it's made up, it's blah, blah, blah. Frustrating, right? So when your eyes are closed, you're connecting to the quantum field, aka the matrix, which is the waveform of ever-changing energy and essentially the fabric of our reality. If we're talking about like really heady stuff, essentially all of this is a simplified version of Schrodinger's equation, which is this equation right here, which explains and measures our reality on a subatomic particle level and how particles and matter behave. And we're actually tapping into this right here, which is the waveform symbol. And funny enough, the waveform symbol is called the psi symbol, like psychic, right? When you close your eyes and meditate, you're creating a new reality. And you can hear some of you already. The question might be, Melanie, why isn't it working for me? I'm meditating, I'm visualizing, I'm manifesting. It's not coming in. Why isn't it working? I'm trying to manifest a winning lottery ticket. I'm trying to manifest the love of my life. I'm trying to shift this work situation. It's not working. I hear this all the time. Well, let's find out together right now. Let's look at what those energetic blocks are to further distract you. Oh, I have messages in the chat. This says, Amanda says the volcano was really warm and went right into the throat and stopped, and the sun coming through the back was almost cold, like when water is so hot that it has a cold feel. It does make sense. Like when you get a burn and the instant sensation is kind of icy, or when you get a cold burn and it feels hot. So interesting, isn't it? Thank you for sharing that. All right, so we're going to do another quick meditation here. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Be sure to just find that level of lightness and amusement. That one thing that you can tap into that no matter what's going on, it's just hilarious. So let's look at what types of energy stop you from creating shifts in your world. I would like you to go ahead and create the image of a bubble out in front of you. And I want this bubble to show you the energy that says that it can't be that easy. As you notice that bubble, just start to take notice of the colors, the vibrations. Maybe there's some images there. Notice if you stop breathing when you look at that energy. Find that little spiritual amusement. Or just noticing it, because as soon as we bring our attention to that energetic blockage, it starts to release. This is the energy that's always in the back of your head telling you that things can't be that easy. That's a serious limit, and it honestly sucks. Take a nice deep breath. Let that bubble just blow up. Destroy that bubble. Nice. Let's go ahead and create another bubble out in front of you. And let's let this bubble show you the energy in your space that says that it's impossible. Start to notice the colors. Maybe there's some people in there. Imagery, sounds. Just notice what you notice. Somebody has a cranky librarian in their bubble. No talking in the library. Find that level of amusement, because any blockage or stuck energy can be moved with a little bit of what we like to refer to as spiritual lube, that level of amusement. Take that bubble and blow it up. Let's go ahead and create another bubble out there. This one's going to be a good one. Let this bubble start to show you the energy that says that it's not real. Manifesting's not real. It's imaginary. You're just a flesh suit robot controlled by chemical patterns, hormones, some automatic response. Anything that really denies the existence of you as a soul, you in that effortless state. What colors are there? Notice if you stop breathing. If you want, you can stick your tongue out at that one and really tell it. Don't take it seriously or it's going to get stuck. Find that amusement. Create space. It allows it to move. It allows it to release. Move that bubble away. Blow it up. Let's just look at one more. I'm sorry, I know I'm torturing you. But go ahead and create another bubble. And let's let this bubble show you the energy that says, who are you to do this? Anything that's disqualifying or invalidating. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Breathe. Start to notice what colors are there. Maybe there's some people that you can hear in there. Maybe you, as a kid, made a sandcastle and you were playing with it and really excited about it, and someone came along and they were like, that's not real. Who are you to think you're the king of this sandcastle? And they stomped on it. That disqualifying energy, move that away from your space. Blow it up. And just know that these are some of the energies that are not only keeping you stuck in your life and where you're wanting to create shifts or manifest, but they're also keeping you from owning your empowerment. Go ahead and start to create the image of a big golden sun above your head. Let that sun call all of your energy, your amusement, your lightness, your capability as a soul back into that sun. Letting it get big and bright. Fill that sun in with whatever energy you're really needing more of right now. Maybe that's playfulness and ease. Maybe that's adventure. Maybe that's just rest. Whatever you want to create, reclaim that energy and bring that golden sun in through the top of your head. Just watch as all of that golden light pours into your body, filling you from head to toe. Moving out into your entire energetic space. And when you're ready, you can take a nice deep breath. Start to come on out of meditation. I'm just popping up on the screen here a little diagram of what we just did. This is what I teach in my meditation classes. We got grounded and connected to the planet. We called all of our energy back. We found our amusement, that spiritual lube that lets that stuck energy release from your space. We also released a bunch of energy, and a lot of times people just describe this as they're taking steps forward, but for some reason there's always this block. And what most of us do when there's something there is we distract ourselves or keep ourselves busy instead of kind of looking at that and figuring out what that block is. So some of that might be some of the things that we looked at today. They might be other things that are blocking you from kind of manifesting or taking steps or really owning your ability to shift things. We moved that energy out. We kind of looked at it and addressed it. And a lot of times all it takes is the willingness to look at that energy for it to shift. You don't necessarily need to blow it up, but blowing it up is a nice touch. And then after you release energy, you always want to fill yourself back in, because if we just keep clearing stuff, I don't know if anybody else does energy work and has experienced this, but when you release a lot of energy and you don't take time to kind of fill yourself back in, it's very draining. That visual of a golden sun is crucial in kind of creating that equilibrium after you do energy work. Questions, comments, concerns? Did anybody notice anything really interesting or surprising? You can type it in the chat. You can keep it to yourself, whatever, it's fine. You can write it in your diary. You can tell your dog later. I think everybody's just integrating. Andrea says, what if you couldn't see a bubble? This is a great question. So oftentimes when you first start to begin to go into looking at energy, you can hit energy that keeps you from wanting to look at it. For you, Andrea, it looks like you were looking at a little bit of invalidation, but I wouldn't be surprised if you oftentimes in life hit that energy around next steps. So when you go to figure out what your next step is, you go, I don't know what to do. It's just kind of blank. So that looks kind of like the energy that you're working through that would keep you from really seeing your answer or seeing your next step. So what I would do is I would, since this is nice and charged, and I've definitely hit this energy before, find that lightness, sit down, and just start to notice what that energy is made of that doesn't want you to be able to see your next step. If you can even kind of find a way to joke with it, or just have something that you can anchor into that's not as heavy as that stop energy that you're hitting, you can start to shift that. It's very normal, and I know some of the Awakening Sanctuary students will agree that you sit down sometimes and it's just blank. Just blank. It happens to me still sometimes, but what used to happen to me before was I would hit that energy and I would be like, oh, I can't see anything. And now it's more like, oh, well, what is that? What is that made out of? Why is it there? What is it saying? Is it saying I can't see? Is it invalidating me? Is it telling me to stop? Is it telling me I'm not allowed to have my own answers? So just get curious. Hope that answers your question. I tend to kind of ramble a little bit sometimes. You're welcome, Andrea. Okay. So with this practice, as much as I would love to say that your spoon's going to bend right now, energy work takes time. So when you're sitting down and you're manifesting, or you're sitting down and you're shifting something by visualizing, maybe working the energy between you and that next thing that's coming and what that stop or that blockage is, there's a little bit of a time delay. And as much as I can pick this up here and, want it to shift right now, the more that I can kind of let it go, the faster that's going to happen for me. So the first couple times I did this practice, it took several hours before my spoon did anything. And when it does do something, this is the key. When your spoon starts to bend, if there's any way for you to remain calm while it's bending, do that. Because the moment that you get really excited that that spoon is moving, it's just going to stop. And I'll show you this as a good example. So I got these at a thrift store. They're all the same variety of spoon. I'm not sure if you can see the detail. They're all this like silver. Anyways, so here's the normal one. Here's one that bent that I did not get super excited about when it was bending, and it went all the way, and I was like, yes, so awesome. And this one, when I was bending it, it started to move, and you do have to hold it and kind of, touch it with your hands in order to make it move. I wish this was more like the Matrix where you just look at it and it's like, right? That'd be really cool. But I picked it up, it started to move, and I got really excited. So like it's moving, it's bending, and I was like, oh my God, it's bending, and it just stopped. And that's usually what happens. So if you can remain calm while your spoon is moving, it's going to bend a lot better for you. And when I say bend, I don't mean like right now, I didn't do the practice, but this one I have to like really forcibly push on in order to get it to move. What will happen with the spoon that you just practiced with is that when you pick it up to kind of test it, it'll just start moving easily. So I'm gonna let that one sit. And you can also do this practice again if your spoon decides to be a little bit stubborn. If in a couple hours you go to pick it up and it's still not shifting, maybe sit back down and kind of visualize that energy moving through the spoon again. It will most likely at some point bend for you. So yes, try to remain calm. Don't get too surprised when it happens. I know it's really hard to do. It's very hard to do. And the more that you do these practices, the less time it will take to kind of manifest into the world and manifest that change. So when your spoon does bend, please post a picture to your social media and tag me with your spoon bends, because I'm going to be really excited about it. If you don't have social media like that, take a picture, email me. I just want to cheer you on. That's mostly all I'm trying to say. So right after class, one of my students sent me this image and posted it to her social media and tagged me, and she actually brought her sister to class. So my student's on the left, her sister's on the right, and they instantly had their spoons bend, and I was so excited. And this is one of the results. And then I also had another student of mine send me this image and post it to her story, and she had it bend later on in the morning, and I was also just so excited about it. And then I also had another person who attended class post this.
You guys, my mind did this. Yours can too. We are so powerful.
So if you're interested in learning how to do this or owning your sensitivity as your greatest gift, you're going to want to check out this next part of the video in the class where I explain how you can get signed up for the Awakened Spirit meditation classes. So today's class was a quick intro to the Awakened Spirit meditation classes. So the Awakened Spirit meditation classes are weekly hour-long live Zoom classes where you can learn meditative tools to help you stay grounded in this ever-changing and chaotic world, learn techniques to empower you in your sensitivity. There's class replays on demand, one-on-one support with me. You can get student discounts on additional one-to-one services, and when you sign up, there are 14 days of free trials. So essentially that means that you'll get 3 free classes. And if you'd like to cancel, I am not one of those people that's going to create a hoop for you to jump through in order to cancel. If you want to cancel, you can cancel anytime. No questions asked. I hate when that happens and they ask you, like, why are you canceling? Just let me freaking cancel. We'll explore special topics in class, such as astral projection, manifesting your dreams, understanding signs from the universe. If you've ever seen repeating numbers and you're like, what does it mean? This class will teach you what it means. Meeting your angels, connecting, communicating with nature, lots of different fun topics. Weekly hour-long virtual classes are held Wednesday nights at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and they're $55 a month. You can also do classes and group healings. So if you're interested in receiving a healing or having a little bit of help facilitating a shift in your life, the group healings are held on the second and fourth Fridays, same time through Zoom. To get a hold of me, you can find me on Instagram or YouTube. My contact information, my website is melaniesheree.com. awakeningsanctuary.com is the Women's Intuitive Training Program website, and my email is right here. If you are interested in intuitive training and would like to learn how to develop your psychic gifts and go from empath to empowered energy worker, you can learn how to develop and understand your spiritual abilities, develop all of your clairvoyant abilities, turn your sensitivity on and off at will. I know some Awakening Sanctuary students are here and they're like, wait, what? Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. And perform energy readings and healings. So the next round for Awakening Sanctuary is starting in October, but we are hosting an open house on October 6th. So if you're interested or if you have friends or family you want to send our way, it's a really awesome program. They also offer one-on-one services, readings, healings, business and money, home and relationships, love, coaching and spiritual counseling, free 15-minute consultations. And if you're here today or you're watching this on YouTube, you can receive a discount session. So just reach out to me and email me and I can get you all signed up for that. I also do a mentorship program. You guys are like, when is my spoon going to bend? Forget about the spoon. I'm trying to distract you. The Empowered Empath Mentorship Program is for empaths, spiritual seekers, highly sensitive souls that want one-on-one assistance on their spiritual journey. You can find more information about that in the links. And if you love this class and would like to support my ability to teach more free classes, you can. My Venmo is at Melanie Sheree, with my last 4 of my phone being 3942. Funny story about that is one time I gave somebody the last 4 of my social and that did not work to Venmo me. So these are the right numbers. I had a few people reach out to me via email that asked if they could support it anyway. So if that's you, great. And that is it. So I'm just going to stop the share, drop the links. Oh no, my message is too long. Bummer, dude. Bummer. And I also just want to open it up for any other questions about anything. Questions about bending spoons, questions about meditation, questions about the universe, weird spiritual experiences you've had, really anything. And I'm just dropping links, so. Nobody has any.
So do you have do you have the weekly classes right now, or you said those start in October?
The weekly classes are going to begin starting next Wednesday.
Okay.
It's kind of like an intro for the series.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So from here on out, classes will be ongoing. I've dropped the info in the chat for more information about classes, where you can sign up for those, where you can find information about just about everything. It's comprehensive dictionary in the chat right now. Kendra, did you have a question?
Question. In Awakening Sanctuary, do we ever learn how to talk to people who have transcended?
Yes.
That's part of it.
That is a part of the curriculum for Awakening Sanctuary. And the other thing I forgot to mention was that Awakening Sanctuary students get all of these classes as a part of their tuition. So if you're already enrolled in Awakening Sanctuary, you get the meditation special topics for free. But does that answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Is it in module 3? Because there's 4 modules. Do you know? Because we're in number 2.
I believe it's a part of touched on as a part of 3, but it's also in 4 more of a comprehensive, in-depth discussion.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any other questions? Is anybody like Melanie, WTF with my spoon? So at some point, you're going to pick the solid spoon up, and what's going to happen is just with a little bit of a little nudge, it's going to move. And I'm going to post the proof from all of you on my story, on my Instagram. And if you want, I can show you my spoon graveyard. I feel like, man, never mind, it's all good. Does anybody else have any other questions before we wrap up? Questions, comments?
Hi, Melanie.
Hi.
I tend to, during our meditation tonight, and most of the time, I go off on my own world and I don't, it's almost like I fall asleep, but I'm not. And I've never been able to follow along with anybody. I tend to just go off on my own until I hear, oh, let's come on back. And then suddenly I am back. And what's that about? And is it good or bad?
Yeah, so part of that initial practice of getting grounded is a way to start to help get you here and now. But for most people, what we're doing when we're noticing in meditation that we're kind of floating elsewhere is that we're starting to become aware of what we're doing with our energy and where we are. So I wouldn't be surprised if being in the space today allowed you the opportunity to kind of work through some of those levels of kind of wrapping things up in your world or kind of going to different places and gathering your energy. It kind of looks like that was a part of what you were doing today. It's not necessarily bad. It's more of an awareness to have. So most of us that are spiritually connected tend to be in a million places at once. And I'm guilty of that. So sometimes when I sit down, I'm like, wow, I'm still having a conversation from last week. I'm planning this thing from 3 days from now. I'm over there. I'm also having a conversation with somebody I'm about to talk to, a new client. And I'm noticing that I'm in those different places. And when we begin to close our eyes to meditate, you can start to practice that grounding practice and gather your energy to you from those places. And with all of these, it's more of a practice and less of a needing to do it right. And as we practice, you're kind of building that muscle for bringing all of your attention into present time. So with the way our society is right now, you've got your attention in 100 different places. It's in work, it's in next week, it's in your phone, it's in 12 different apps, it's in the client space. And as your energy is scattered in all of those different places, you're not able to really bring it right here, right now, in order to create those big shifts, which is probably also translates to a little bit of scatteredness or forgetfulness, or maybe even like ADHD type symptoms. It's really that you're very skilled out of the body with your energy. And again, it's just more of a practice of, oh, well, look, I'm at Disney World right now. I'm trying to bend this spoon. I need to come back. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it helps.
Awesome. Yeah,
One more question. Is it, will it be safe to use my spoon with a hot liquid this evening, or should I leave it to the side?
I would take a different spoon and use it.
Okay, good.
In the off chance that at some point your spoon decides to simultaneously just I haven't had one do that. I always have to, kind of pick it up, hold it. So I've sat down at several other times and kind of refocused when things didn't move kind of quickly, but at some point it will move. And I'll tell you a funny story here. My partner was watching me do this once, and he goes, well, show me how to do it. So we sat down, I kind of showed him how to do it. He put a spoon down, he walked away, and then he came back and he was like, it's not moving, it doesn't work. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it doesn't work for you. And a couple hours later, went into the living room, I saw the spoon on the table, and I was like, oh, you left a spoon there. So I picked it up, I just, kind of touched it a little bit, and it folded, and I was like, I was really excited. So if that happens for you, if it's a couple hours later, if it's like, oh, this doesn't work, I don't care about it, it's boring, it's dumb, it didn't happen right away, that's okay. You might just surprise yourself if you forget about it and come back to it. Any other questions before we wrap up? Thank you, Malia, for bringing your friend, partner, roommate. Hello. Yeah, thank you all so much for being here. And I hope that you all have a fantastic night. I'll stick around if anybody has any other questions. You're so welcome, Kendra. Thanks for coming. I'm glad that you didn't get any third-degree burns. Been awful. How could I explain that to my insurance? Like, I was teaching a meditation class, and 10 of my students wound up in the hospital. Oh, wouldn't that be horrible? Bye, Amanda. Thank you. Well, thank you all so much for being here. And again, if you would like to get a hold of me or find me online, you can find me on Instagram at _awaken.spirit, and on YouTube. Well, you're already here, so great job, you found me. Be sure to like and subscribe. Again, I'd love to have you come back for more free classes or other information. You can also get a hold of me on my website, melaniesheree.com. I also have all of the information for the intuitive training program at awakeningsanctuary.com, and you can also always reach me at my email, which is awaken@melaniesheree.com, or feel free to DM me anytime on Instagram. Thanks so much again. I hope that you enjoyed this class, and I will see you soon.